Hi everybody, welcome to this week's blog on events and festivals and our updates in terms of the public health indicators, which we'll go through again, and some of the data. Thank you again for joining us, listening in. You can hopefully see from the slide the indicators that we have set as we've discussed through each of these weekly blogs. We are assessing events and festivals from a coronavirus point of view, just to make sure that the current issues in terms of vaccination rates, hospitalization rates, local incidents within our areas, and any emerging variants are considered. So I'll go through a few of the data slides so you're up to date in terms of the those different indicators. So if I start with cases within Warwickshire at this moment in time, the downward trend that we've talked about over the last few weeks has continued. You can see from this bar chart here where we are now compared to where we were back in the Christmas New Year period, and that we're right down now, still in single figures, cases of 5 or lower over the last few days, which is really encouraging, and obviously delighted to see that trend continuing. In terms of the rates per district and borough, again, we do get these slight variations over the last 7 days, 7-day periods. These are the figures as of yesterday. You can see that our levels in North Warwickshire and the county as a whole have pretty much stayed stable. We've seen reductions both in Rugby and Warwick. Very slight rises in terms of Stratford and Nuneaton and Bedworth, but nothing we have any major concerns over. And as we've said before, we would expect, with the rates as low as they are, to see very small fluctuations, but nothing we're really concerned about at this moment in time. In terms of our positivity rates, in terms of our more vulnerable groups, age 60 and over, again, similar pattern really. Very slight variations, but again, I hope you can see the number of cases that we're talking about are extremely low, very much in single figures and nowhere near the rates that we were before. So at the moment, we have absolutely no issues in terms of the more vulnerable groups. And just some updated figures for you in terms of vaccination rates. Our vaccination rates are really strong at this moment in time, and we're delighted that they've continued to hit well over the 50,000 mark over recent weeks, which is really outstanding for our area. And if we break that down by local area, we've done it by parliamentary constituency today, just so gives a bit more depth. You can see that the rates for over 60s, over 70s and over 80s, all of them are really well up into the 90s, touching up to 98%, which is just outstanding. And I'm delighted to let you know this week that we are already seeing the over 50 group, which is obviously was slightly below the 90%. Now we are now seeing that we've topped over the 90% mark as a total, which is again really good news. And we would say probably to anyone listening to this, if you can carry on encouraging people to get vaccinated, that is absolutely the right message across all of our communities. So we're very much on the right track for that. So let me just stop sharing those slides for you and give you an update in terms of hospitalization at the moment. Again, we're seeing very low rates in terms of hospital admissions, and as we've said before, no major pressure in terms of our hospitals at this moment in time. We talked last time about issues of concern, any variants of concern that we might have. No real change from where we were last week. There's a lot of work going on with all the partner agencies in both Nuneaton and Bedworth, and to a degree in Rugby as well. But we are, as we've said before, likely to see different variants coming through at different times. So some great work going on with the different partner agents led by our good colleagues at Public Health. So at the moment, we're not flagging that as a major issue, but we continue to track that and assess the different rates in terms of spread of any other variants that come to the fore over the next few weeks. So just in summary, if you are planning to hold an event over the coming weeks, we've got no major issues of concern at this moment in time. We're continuing to monitor the Indian variant just to make sure that does not spread wider in the community. And we would be supporting event and festival organisers in terms of their planning. We would urge that you consider your options under the step 3 change rather than step 4, because again we are still erring on the side of caution for the 21st of June. There's lots of messages that step 4 will remain on schedule for the 21st of June, but I think we'd still say there's a note of caution at this moment in time. So please do your planning based on the step 3 easing of lockdown. Just a couple of other things that we've mentioned before to just come up through some of the meetings we've had recently. Again, big thank you to so many of the event and festival organisers who have placed lateral flow testing as part of their event plans, and that's absolutely fantastic. It's definitely a really positive way forward. And if other festival event organisers would like some advice in terms of lateral flow testing for both those attending the event and those involved in helping to run it, then please come and talk to us. We're always happy to help. But as I said, delighted that so many people are actually using that. The other point we would say to you is if you are organising an event, it's very important that you work on the basis of the number of people attending your event in terms of actual attendees rather than just on tickets sold. If you are in a situation where you are selling a number of tickets and a number of family members can come in free of charge, it's really important that you count the total number of people within your number attending, not just the number who you have sold tickets for. So children do count towards your numbers, and it's important that we work with you to make sure that our planning is based on the attendees, not just the number of tickets sold. So I think that's just a helpful tip for you all. So thank you. Hope you all have a really good bank holiday weekend, and we look forward to catching up with you next week. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.